Two Indian scientists based in Japan have forecast a high probability of El Nino in summer this year. And El Nino typically brings a poor southwest monsoon to India, including droughts, though with exceptions. Hi, Namaste. Swadhin Behera, Director, Application Research Laboratory, Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology, JAMSTEC, and Visiting Professor at the University of Tokyo, and Saji Hameed, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Division of Computer Science, University of AIZU, Tokyo, have caveats over the emergence of El Nino. What are the chances of El Nino emerging this year? What are the determining factors? What could be the impact on India? To tell us about all this, we have with us Mr. Vinson Kurian, Consulting Editor at the Hindu Business Line from Thiruvananthapuram. Welcome to Hindu Business Line's Trending Commodity Pick Show, Mr. Vinson Kurian. You interviewed Dr. Swadhin Behera and Professor Saji Hameed. What is their forecast for the emergence of El Nino later this year? Do they have any caveats for the drought-bearing weather?
Thank you, Mr. Subramani, for having me. I spoke to two Japanese scientists who are supposedly the best in the field because they are also associated with the foundational team which identified the Indian Ocean Dipole for the first time way back in the 1999, if I'm correct. So that's when the Indian Ocean Dipole came into light, actually. These two scientists which I spoke to belong to that foundational team. There's another member, is a Japanese citizen. I just forget the name. So these three people were the foundational team which identified this Indian Ocean Dipole. And now we are talking about the El Nino, which is supposedly on the horizon. But as we speak, we are still in a La Nina phase of 2025, which is not really ended. I was just referring to the Climate Prediction Center update today. So they said we still are in a La Nina phase, and which will slowly transition by April or so into ENSO neutral phase, which is neither El Nino or a La Nina phase. We have a neutral conditions in the Pacific. So the odds are that the El Nino, when it actually comes into light, will be sometime during July. And the CPC gives the maximum possibility of emergence of El Nino somewhere by the end of July and into August. So that's where we are. So as I said, these scientists are they don't have any indications of the El Nino popping up anytime soon, but all available indications, oceanic and atmospheric, all those conditions are clearly signaling that the stage is gradually, slowly but gradually being set in the Pacific. Because the La Nina ends, that means the western part of the Pacific Ocean will turn into cold. That's where closest to India. That part of the ocean will turn cool, and the warmth of this part of the ocean will slowly shift to the equatorial and East Pacific. So that's where the El Nino will happen. The gradual warming will peak into sometime in August, September. So all in all, we'll have the El Nino coming up during the mid of the Southwest Monsoon. So the signals are there. We are just waiting for the firm announcement that the El Nino has set in, which will take some more time to take place. So all these conditions have to be met until which time the El Nino, the La Nina phase will go into neutral phase, and neutral phase on the Pacific Ocean will slowly turn into the El Nino. That's what the condition is. But they are almost sold on the possibility that there is going to be an El Nino this year, and how strong will it be, and what's the stay that is going to be known sometime later. This season of this time of the year is when the predictability is at its lowest. The predictability is lowest in winter, during winter, and gets a little better into spring. But at least till March, we cannot have anything concrete on our table to say with any conviction as to what exactly will happen, MRS. That's it.
What will El Nino's impact be on India's southwest monsoon and on Asia? Will this be more severe than the one we faced in 2023?
If you look back to 2023, we had an El Nino plus an Indian Ocean Dipole. Indian Ocean Dipole was a good one, but the problem was that it came into operation very late into the monsoon. It was declared sometime in September, October. That was too late for the monsoon to be impacted at all. But this year, it need not be the case. It can start much earlier, from April to May to June. So that will most probably coincide with the onset of the Southwest monsoon. So El Nino, El Nino will roll out during that time of the year, but the positive Indian Ocean Dipole, the IOD, which is again a seesawing of temperature from west to east of Indian Ocean. So that can happen much earlier, from say April to May to June. Like that, it can roll out from early summer into the summer proper, which is when the monsoon will be at its active most in India. So Indian Ocean Dipole, a positive phase of the Indian Ocean Dipole will mean that the western part of the Indian Ocean will warm up, much higher relative to the eastern part, which is actually helpful for the monsoon, Indian monsoon, despite an El Nino playing in the background. But that need not be the case every time, as we just saw in 2023. So we'll have year-to-year variations on how even the IOD can influence the Southwest monsoon in India. But in 1997-98, when we had this super El Nino event, when everybody was expecting a very bad monsoon in India, we had a good monsoon. In fact, 102% of 102%. The performance was 102%, which is good, which is just above the 100% normal. So, that was in 97-98. So a similar thing, the Japanese scientist, one of the Japanese scientists, Dr. Hameed, was saying that 97-98 might be replicated this year with El Nino and IOD coming to place. So we can expect the IOD to benefit the Indian monsoon, especially the eastern and central parts of India will benefit if the IOD were to play out. So that's where where it stands today. The IOD can possibly help the Indian monsoon and make up for the loss, if at all, from an El Nino. So if it were to be just El Nino, it would be, it would be a very bad monsoon for India. But the IOD playing along with Southwest monsoon can make it a slightly different case to our benefit.
How will the Northeast Monsoon in India be this year?
Northeast Monsoon, Dr. Behera, whom I spoke to in Tokyo, he was saying that their syntax F model, which it's a very reliable model, and which has been coming out with very good forecasts with respect to the IOD, of course, it's their own child. They found out this IOD phenomenon in Indian Ocean. So he was saying that the Northeast monsoon will be good this year and could possibly make up for any losses in the southern parts, especially in the southern parts of India, in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka, and joining Andhra Pradesh. So we are expecting the Northeast monsoon also to be good. And the fact is that during 80% of the time, the El Nino has helped the Northeast monsoon in India. So the winter monsoon has been good 18% of the time when the IOD was in play. But of course, it's very erratic. The onset of the Northeast monsoon can get delayed, and it can be even erratic. You will have very heavy rainfall and with a lag effect. I mean, it's not organized kind of rainfall. We'll have systems happening. I mean, weather systems forming in the Bay of Bengal and dumping very heavy rain from time to time. Erratic kind of rainfall, but not the conventional northeast monsoon type of rainfall. But we'll have good rainfall during this year. That's what Dr. Behera says. So we can only wait and watch as the season unfolds. You have to wait for the initial thing to happen. The IOD has to roll out in time. And then, of course, the El Nino, the wait continues for the El Nino into May, June. So the announcement will be coming in somewhere in March, April, when the latest ocean and atmospheric data will become available.
Thank you very much for your insightful views, Mr. Vinson Kurian. Thank you all for tuning in, viewers. Until we meet in the next episode, keep smiling and be happy. This is Subramani Mangombo signing off. Good luck.